Okay. Hello and welcome in, everyone. I hope you all can hear me over the sound of the forge. And also welcome in, Mr. Spock. So, last time, doing blacksmithing. So, I wasn't able to get my forge hot enough up in temperature. So, I did some manipulating with it. Well, I found out right before stream, my various manipulations also not only made the forge, aw, sweet, we got a thumbs up, yeah! So, not only did I change some things, I also my changes made it quite louder. So, hopefully this isn't too bad. But I do got noise gate on it, and that should help keep some of the stuff down. But yeah, so we're gonna start off with things I've changed. First thing I've changed is I've actually got some pieces of cedar. Example. I've got some long pieces of block underneath my anvil. And I did that to bring my anvil a little bit up. Sounds like Darth Vader. Yeah. That's basically what the forge sounds like right now. I think after today I might have to play with it. But I did want it to get lit and have it start warming up before we start streaming. But apparently I should have done a bit more audio checking. But yeah, but that's just to help kind of make my life a little bit easier at the anvil. Second thing I've done is I've added some bricks. So as you can see, I've got a brick here in addition to my brick here. I've been trying to make my firebox tighter, smaller. Well, like trying to make sure I don't have any like weaknesses here, you know? To keep that heat in there. So right now, as far as I can tell, versus last time, kind of, honestly, no difference. But initially, it was very loud. It was very, very loud. Actually, I think I'm gonna turn up noise. I'm gonna turn up limiter a little bit. Actually, well, if I make the release snappier, will that do better? Nah, because limiter. Oh, yeah, because limiter just does. Limiter just keeps me from getting too loud. Let's see. Let's do a noise gate. And we're gonna go with the noise gate with just the defaults. That might be better. That might be, it seems a hair bit better with the noise gate. Also, Flash V. Welcome in. Right now, I'm having the sweet joys of like figuring out how to get less volume out of that thing. Out of the box that holds lots of fire. So, I also might try. Flash is good. Good to hear. But yeah, so I'm trying to actually get things a little bit warmer. So far, I've had the forge on for about 5-ish minutes. Not too much in terms of a heat. So we'll keep playing with this today and see if we can't get it warmer and warmer. I might also try turning up the regulator on the propane. But hopefully it doesn't make it too loud. But yeah, so that's one of our main goals today. Get the forge hotter, because I need a hotter forge, because I can work with my metal at the temperatures I'm seeing, but it's a lot more work to work with the metal at those kind of temperatures. So let's just go ahead and grab this guy. So this is just a standard cherry hot. Not doing much. It's really hard to manipulate that metal when it's not very hot. I also want to get it like a little bit more in the extreme, but I'm also working with 2 pieces of metal, so that way I can alternate. So I have one on long bar, because it's easier for me to handle it, grab it, do things, versus having to do everything with just tongs. So, goal 1, make the forge warmer. Goal 2, get better at drawing out material. So, here is a piece from last time, where I did this is basically a really poor job of drawing out the material there. So I've done some review of other videos online, done some instructions. I think having longer stock material is going to help me out with being able to more readily work the material, because it's a little bit awkward to work it with tongs. So just bringing this guy to the example, grab, pull him out, a little bit more heat. Bit better, but I still need more heat. That's my issue right now. So that's going to be issue number 1, more heat. Ooh. Granted, our other bar is looking really good right now, so it shouldn't be. Top of forge isn't too warm. That's good. That's good. And oh yeah, you guys can also see it. So I've got chains. I've actually got my anvil secured to its log. So just trying to implement small upgrades over time to make my life a little bit better and better. So yeah, that's where we're at today in blacksmithing. Honestly, if I was a little bit smarter, I would have probably also brought the microphone a little bit closer to me, so it would be easier for it to pick up me versus Forge Coon. Because Forge Coon, it's practical. Well, yes, but also having the way I anchored it with the chain also makes it pretty easy for me to remove it from the log. I also need to get a heavier log for this, because this is going to actually bounce around on me a whole lot. So, but speaking about the techniques I've got so far, I'm trying to do a lot of my drawing out here at the horn of the anvil, because the rounded surface of the horn, granted, this is top of my horn's actually pretty flat, simply because of this anvil's been well used. This anvil's been in my family for over 100 years, so it's got a lot of history, and I really like it. It's this whole anvil's fault. Is why I'm doing all this, because I was like, you know what, the anvil, this is a nice anvil. If I were to go out and just buy one of these off like Facebook Marketplace or eBay or something, this would be a very expensive anvil, like easily over probably around $700-800, like maybe up to $1,000, but very expensive anvil. But yeah, it has gotten a lot of use, especially now. Yeah, well, another thing about it is it also qualifies as low background material. Now, I'm looking at my bar, my main bar I have in here right now. It's looking very orange. So let's just go ahead and play with this guy for a little bit. So, looking better. I'm trying to keep my bar flat. And I'm failing. But I want to flatten that. So we did a little bit better, not a whole lot better. Whew. But yeah, I really want to get that color up. That was a reasonably nice bright orange, but it wasn't like a super bright orange. So we're gonna just let that stuff sit in there. And I also want to slowly amp up my gas pressure. I don't want to go too hard on the propane, because otherwise my forge is going to become too loud. I remember it being loud the first stream, but the second one is like, oh wowzers, this isn't like a lot of loud. This ain't a little bit of loud, this is a lot of loud we've got going on here. So, let's take a look at our second piece of material. Not saying too much. Just now was not good, but we are starting to draw out a taper on that guy. It's not a perfect taper, but it's definitely more of a taper. Also, another thing I did is I added some scraps of fire brick to the bottom of my forge, and that's kind of to take up a little bit more of the air volume in there. So that way, hopefully, it gets me a little bit more of a concentrated heat. But yeah, this is going to be the extent of today. Is local garage dwelling VTuber tries to learn blacksmithing. But yeah, I am. Initially, I was wearing two shirts because it's been fairly warm in here, and I've already warmed up quite a bit versus the start. So let's go ahead and grab this material. But yeah, must be intense heat. It's warm, but it's not, I wouldn't call it intense. Hey, little piece of metal, come up. Granted, I think I need to start working with the ball peen side, the flat side. It's just I'm a little bit concerned depending on how I hit it. I may not be able to stretch it out as much because I keep wanting to use the face of the anvil. That's one of my problems, is I keep wanting to use this area of the anvil when I need to come further out onto my horn, and I need to be working my material here, which... There we go. Even though my anvil's, I think this anvil's 114 British pounds, it's still kind of light. I really need to put a better log on it, mounting log, because if I get a heavier log on it and I anchor it kind of more tightly, it will be more fixed and it won't drift as much as it is drifting now, but it's really liking the drift right now, so that's just something I'm gonna have to deal with. Okay, let's just up the forge. In small increments, see what we can do. And also, I don't feel like this should have to be said, but also I'm not a professional. I am 100% amateur. I am in the process of learning. So, let's play with this. One of my issues is the anvil doesn't move as much when I'm using it at the horn, because when I'm using it at the horn, I'm putting a lot of pressure and weight here, and it's making the thing move, versus over on the face, I want to use the face, which I think I want to switch up my hammer game. Because if I want to use the face, that's fine, but I will probably want to use a ball peen hammer, because on the flat face, there's not as much room for the material to spread out, especially against a flat face hammer, like this flat face hammer right here. Like, there's just no room for stuff to move. Versus with the ball peen, when you strike your material, it can move to either side of the round head. So I think we're gonna try on Grant the toss. Hello and welcome in. And also thank you for the anvil compliment. It's old and it's been passed down my family line for a long time. So let's try working this guy with the ball peen. So definitely needs more accurate hits. But it is spreading my material out a lot nicer though. You can see all those shiny spots from when the ball peen was hitting it. Woo! I think hot tea is going to be a detriment to my internal body temperature today. But you know what? That's part of the fun. Man, this is going to be... One of the best things about this is just going to be... Like, this is just going to be such a great arm workout. Okay. God. Wow. And there goes ball ping. Oh well. We have tools for that. Tools! Granted, my problem is I keep slipping into bad habits. I keep wanting to use face. I need to use horn more. Especially if I want to use the... especially if I want to use the... If I want to use this guy. If I want to use this guy. You need a pinning machine thing. A power hammer? Sure. But I don't have a power hammer. Shucks, I don't have room for a power hammer. I wish I had room for a power hammer. I wish I had more room in my shop. I do not have the room in my shop. Whew. Shucks, at some point I might open up that garage door a little bit more, because it's getting toasty in here. Okay. So, we're going to now work on the other piece. And we're going to do this all at the horn. But yeah, I gotta say this. Build a second floor. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh man, that's great. Just build a second floor. Oh man. Oh gosh, I gotta say. I'm glad I'm not super committed to this blacksmithing stuff, because yeah, I definitely do not have... I am definitely more of a wood guy versus a iron guy. Whew. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna open up that garage door. And there we go. More fresh air. Sweet, glorious fresh air. Ugh. Shucks, granted, I do... Like, I'm probably also going to get pretty winded with today, because I donated blood over the weekend, so I don't have as much as that those sweet red blood cells that help carry oxygen. I feel like the forge is getting up to higher temps, but I definitely am starting to notice I have a little bit of temperature banding in there. Like I see the center of this iron bar here. That's actually getting pretty warm, but the far end of it isn't getting... Blood donator buddy, epic. Yeah! Get drunk quicker when drinking beer. Yes. Yes, Mr. Spock, you are indeed correct. But yeah, I've been donating blood for quite a while. It's a good thing to do. Okay, let's see what we can keep doing. See, all my heat's in the center. causing the iron to behave in ways I do not necessarily approve of. But boy, oh boy, do those blacksmithing YouTubers make this look so much easier than what it is. Ooh. Jeepers creepers. I'm starting to wonder. I almost want to try working with the backside of this guy. Because what are you trying to do? So I'm trying to draw the material out. I'm trying to take my material and I'm trying to stretch it out. And right now, so far, I'm struggling. I've been seeing a lot of what other people do, and it's just like, because I did on last stream, I just tried to flatten my bar and then put a bend on it, and that worked out pretty easily. That wasn't too difficult, but trying to do what I'm doing here today is turning out to be a lot more of a challenge. And I'm also taking a look at I'm also trying to evaluate the forge while I'm working with it. Smartest idea. But one thing I am trying to... It must be a beer break time. Nah, I was just trying to get because right at the start of the stream, my blowtorch for this was tilted up. I'm trying to tilt it down so it's more hitting the center of my material that I have in there. But currently, I'm failing to execute a very simple blacksmithing concept, so. Because like on this, like it is starting to get drawn out slowly, very slowly. But I don't know how much. I don't know how much arm I have for today. I want to have a lot more arm. I need to become arm strong. I mean, granted, I'll have strong arms by the end of it, so. That's one of the fun side benefits of doing this is it is definitely it is a next level arm workout. Granted, I might, because right now I've been prioritizing my left hand because I am a native lefty. But I'm also gonna have, if I wanted to use my right, I have to be like turning around. I'm getting tired watching. Well, Mr. Spock, it sounds like you are deserving yourself a beer. Whew. Oh wait, was I using this guy? Oh, that's a wait. That's a heavier hammer. Now, granted, I might also have to, like... Actually, wait a second. I'm trying to get a feel for... You know what? Let's see how much this hammer tires me out on this next run. So, the beer just got bottled. Oh, but yeah, I'm thinking I need to do more. I need to have it in the center. Yeah, I don't have a very rounded horn. This might be challenging, so I might have to try mixing up my style here, because I don't think that horn style's working out for me. Might have to work on the face of the anvil. One second. But hey, I will definitely have earned myself a good snack after this, so. I do like myself a nice good snack. So, there's positivity to be had there. So, we're going to try doing the face, and what I want to try doing, what I'm going to try and do for this next heat, is I'm going to try and hold my piece up at an angle, and I'm going to try and hit it, turn, hit, turn, hit, turn, hit, turn, and hopefully see what I can do with drawing out the material this way. Because I think... Well, I feel like I feel like I pretty much know I'm being very inefficient. But I mean, this is just what happens when you start out. Like, you're an amateur. I'm an amateur. Isn't the anvil supposed to be bolted down to something heavy? Ideally. I've got it reasonably bolted down, but I do feel like having my workpiece tilted up, having a little bit off that edge, and then working it, I think that was really helping me out with that last one, because we're actually starting to get that drawn out now. So, like, so what I'm actually trying to make at the end of the day is I want to make for myself a pair of S-hooks. Yeah. So, for a little bit of an example, basically something like this, but a little bit beefier is what I want to make. Technically speaking, I could just work with like these style of S-hooks, but I gotta make my own stuff, and this is a very simple and very, well, it's simple, but really the two techniques to make this out of a piece of like regular like iron stock is just drawing the material out till you get it thin enough, putting two hooks, and then you cut it off. And that's the goal today, is just execute simple techniques. As we can see, I've been somewhat struggle busting with simple techniques, but you gotta start this business somewhere. So, and the most important thing to do is to actually get started. Okay. So, it's been slow, it's been tedious, but this material is slowly starting to get drawn out. I am trying to keep it square, which I am reasonably successful in that. Actually, will you fall? With as much ping as I've been doing, you might fall. But I do want to hold that. I do want to hold that bar up at a slightly bit more angle, get it where I have a whole lot more heat going on. So I'm gonna get my breath, get my tea, and then we'll move on to the next one. We were making pretty good progress on that one, so we'll see what we can do. So the issue here, you need to have a good grip, and more importantly, good aim. So we are very slowly getting to where we need to go. But we are getting there. Oh. But, whew. Hopefully I can, because I've actually been doing a fair bit of video watching before this, but the thing is, video watching is no excuse for actually getting out here in the shop, firing up the forge, and putting those sweet reps in. Like, you just gotta do the thing if you want to get good at the thing, and that was what I was concerned about. But yeah, I mean, we're making progress. It's just this hideously slow progress. Make your stock longer, they said. It's easier to handle, they said. Oh, it's not. It's not. I don't have enough table. Well, I don't have enough. I don't have enough table at my forge, though. That's one of my issues, amongst many. amongst many issues. My life is just overflowing overabundance of issues. Well, it's not quite that negative. It's just... I like putting myself in positions where it's like, ooh, that seems like something fun to do, and then I actually try doing it, and then I find out it's not that easy, and it's like, well, do I give up or do I keep going? And well, that's the reason why I'm a VTuber, because it's basically like, well, we're not even like an hour into a stream, and like if I was just screwing around in a shop, I might be tempted to give up, but I gotta keep the show going. That's what you guys are to me. You guys are my accountability partners. Also, pro tip: don't be a Sugi and cook. Don't be a Sugi and cook bacon on the forge. It's then your forge smells like bacon. Stay. So I want the heat to be a little bit closer in. There you go. You chill out there. Good evening, Dad's Old Chop. How's your week treating you? I hope it's been treating you pretty good. Right now, I'm definitely feeling the lack of red blood cells. Baked potatoes and tamalines are good for forge food. Ooh. Baked potatoes. Oh man, I like me a good baked potato. Okay. No. I was doing alright, and then it got away from me. Oh man. But yeah, I'm at least doing a better job with the square taper on this guy. It's just I'm having a lot of trouble doing a square taper on this guy. Partly because where I need a heat, I need to have it balanced right there. It will not stay balanced right there. Sam, I am. Jiminy Crickets, what can I do? What can I do? Because it's... Wait a sec. Unconventional. We're in a challenge in Foxhole. Whoever can harvest the most materials get to name our first aircraft, and I want to name it VNS2 for flinching. Ooh. Wait. Is this the unconventionality I need? That is very unconventional, but if that keeps that there, it's gonna work. That's not a Arnold Schwarzenegger voice. Well, I tried to keep it stay still. I mean, that taper's coming along. If it works, it works. Well, it's pseudo working. I wish it would work better. But I do think I have succeeded, at least at this point, to getting the forge hotter. I'm not quite getting into yellow heat, but I just wish I could keep it there. I wish I could keep just... I've already got... I really need to actually get a new log for the anvil. I really need to do that. But that's not going to happen until I get a new drop of firewood off at the homestead, and I'm not planning on that for at least like another 2 months. And I am very constrained right now, but oh well. It would be easier to pour molten metal into a mold. Mr. Spock, we're not doing this because it's easy. We're doing this because it's hard. And also, hello, Zerzon. Welcome in. I hope the bosses in Niho weren't punishing you too much. But yeah, I mean, this taper is coming along nicely. And this is technically supposed to be the material that's hard to work on, because I have to use tongs to handle it. The way life goes sometimes. My mental is strong, I always win, eventually. Well, good to hear, good to hear. Ooh, that's pretty much my mental right now, because getting a hang of this, getting a hang of drawing out material is very challenging. I really at some point need to actually get a more rounded face hammer at some point. I hope you're winning against that hook of metal. Oh man, that arm is going to be my left arm by the end of this. That's going to be my left arm. I mean, that's one of the nice things about doing this is like, I get a stream and a workout in, so. Granted, I also want to try using this guy a little bit. Actually, do I have a bigger ball peen? No, I think this is my biggest. No, this is my biggest ball peen. But one of the advantages with the ball peen is the round head, when hit against the flat part of the face of the anvil, it pushes the metal to the side, and that's kind of what you're trying to do when you draw out the metal. When you're intentionally drawing out the material. I was doing a pretty okay job flattening material, but drawing out is being an aspect of this that's turning to be somewhat challenging. But also a nice thing about this is it's pretty light, but it's also only 1.25 pounds, so it may not have quite enough oomph, but we'll see. We'll see what we can do. Then we'll switch to flatten. So the ball peen definitely did a reasonable job of cratering my metal, and I think it does a good job for pushing it out. But it also makes it makes for a lot of work. I thought one person held it and 3 people hammered, so that depends on the type of work you're doing. So right now I'm working with 3/8 square rod, and I'm just trying to draw it out. So I don't have confidence in this. I don't have confidence in myself, but I do have the spirit to try. But yeah, so in instances where you've got one person holding it and 3 people hammering it, that's when you're trying to do like a lot of forge welding, or you're trying to actually take iron and turn it into steel, and you're trying to like fuse work, like really work. I see that done a lot when you're taking like what is it called? Blooms. When you take like a bloom of metal out of an actual smelter, and then you're working the bloom, and you're trying to take it from what's mostly metal with, say, like 80% metal, 20% rock, and you want to bring it to a higher percentage of metal. When you really need to work material like that, you definitely want more hands for that. As for where I'm at right now, with what I'm trying to do, is sufficient enough for me to do at the level I can do. It's just, I'm pretty sure this is all just down to skill issue on my part. It's all just skill issue. But hey, we're putting in the reps today. But yeah, for a little bit of reference, these two were the same length at the start, and I've just been having this one sit on the top of the forge just to kind of preheat it, because I didn't know how fast today was gonna go. So, but now that we're starting to get into this more center, I think it might be time to bust this guy out, and then when I'm wanting to spread this part of the material, I tap, 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 and that stretches the material out. That's going to be kind of a game plan. But yeah. Lots of learning, but that's what I'm here for. And also, like, another part of what a very side part of what I'm trying to do is, like, yeah, when you're new to something, it's gonna feel awkward, it's gonna kind of suck, and it might get frustrating. Rolling machine, yeah, well, modern society has machines for that. In the olden times, they did not have machines, and I don't have room for machines or capital for machines. But I do. I have an anvil, and I have a forge. And I want to use these tools. And I also want to get good at these tools. Granted, I feel like over the first hour of stream, I feel like my hammer control is getting better. I feel more confidence with the hammer. I feel a lot more confidence with taking a little bit of pacing, slowing my pacing down just to ensure more accurate strikes. So, life's a progression series that we're all in. Like, we're all trying to go through life, potentially get better at things, grow as individuals. It's just I'm a strange human being who decided to grow by becoming a VTuber. It's fun though. Okay. Yikes. That was a terrible hammer blow. But with that session done, using the cross peen definitely looked like it was pushing my material out a little bit more. And I am still maintaining that square taper, so. Versus the other piece of material which I'm trying to do that round and as whole, which supposedly doing it square is the easy route, but doing it round is the hard route. But I am finding the opposite is true in my experience right now. But I don't know. I'm a strange bird. But as we can see, we have a really nice drawn out piece of metal. And part of me is really tempted to have some squirrely thoughts about this, but I want to take my section. I have, just because I want to keep my hands off the metal. From the tip of my hammer to around where my thumb is, I want to draw that out a little bit more. And I think I'll cut this off and actually try to work on our first S. We'll see. Woo! Okay. Slow and steady progress. Wait, is that poking? That's interesting. We're actually starting to poke the other end of the forge, but at least as far as like getting the forge actually warmer, we've done successful on that, so that actually makes me pretty happy. Okay. Let's... So I'm starting to hit the limit, the size limit of my forge. So I'm starting to think with this guy, what I'm going to have to do is probably try to draw this out a little bit more. And then I'll actually have to, words. I need words. I don't know, I can't think right now. I mean, we will at least be able to use the hot cut today. So, we'll at least use the hot cut, and at the rate I'm going, we'll at least get one hook done. I feel optimistic about that. It's just getting more done is the issue. Okay. But yeah, metal's a lot less forgiving than wood. Whew. Definitely a lot more. It's also a little bit more punishing on my body. But I think we'll try to... We'll get one S-hook done, and we'll see if we can't try and get another one done. It's just the biggest issue with... Well, you know what? Even if the S-hooks aren't consistently the same size, that will still be fine. That will actually be fine. It won't... Uh-oh. I might have to pay attention to that. I might be running out of propane. Oh. Okay, we're gonna heat that up. And then once that's heated, we'll get out the hardy and we'll actually cut. We'll do our first cut tonight. I'm starting to think this guy's getting close to that point too. Whew. So, this is my hot cut. This just came in. that fits on there like that, or it can fit on there like that. I wanted to paint a big S on my car, that way when I drive by people, look at the S car go. Yes, pun good. We like puns. Puns are good. Okay, so I'm feeling squirrely. I'm feeling very squirrely. Also, before we get squirrely, oh wow, that's actually near perfect. There we go. Okay, let's cut metal. And then we want to do right about there. Flip it around. Can I? Oh, right in the water. Oh, don't throw your hammer, Sugi. Where is that? Oh, I was holding it. There it is. I did it. We did it. So, right now it just looks like a nail. Actually, that should be holding up the handle. Yeah. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna draw out the other side, and then we'll start bending a hook on it. And we'll see what we can do. That piece of metal might be a little bit small. I might have to work it with these guys. My clippity clappies. Because there's a lot of... Wait, ah! Oh, this is actually gonna be really hard to work. I might have made that piece a little. No, I was scared of that. I was scared of that. I might have made that piece of metal too small. Probably should have made it larger, but everything's hot. It's all hot. Okay. But we got a slightly longer piece here, and because I really want to like push things up, you know? Well, like, get things moving. Rather than... It'd be nice to actually start making a bit of the project happen. Now, one of the advantages of making the material smaller is it should heat up quicker. But this small bit of material is very hard to handle. Sugi, you didn't do yourself a favor with that. Oh, well. I wonder if I should cut this here. Start working with that like that. Keep them long and so much harder to work with small pieces. Yeah, I'm finding that out right now. It's just the drawing out is... The drawing out's being drawn out. I think I need to keep an eye out for a nice round-faced hammer versus these flat faces. Maybe you should have cut it. I thought you would draw it out, then form the S, then cut it. No, well, no, you would, like, ideally you would want, like, a nice long piece. And then you would want to work that piece of material. Granted, yeah, it's okay. So it is. Well, it's good to know it's not just me. The significantly reduced diameter. Because for a while I was thinking that was me. Granted, I am running... I took windage stock down to half, and you can use the paint on... It's a little ugly, but it can help. Okay. Because it was good to see my feelings be validated. But to take windage stock down to half, and it took an hour. Wow. I am feeling very validated. Granted, this is also the furthest that sticks in there. I would why not just start at half? Well, you may not have half material. Mr. Spock, like, blacksmithing is working with what you got, in a way. I was stupid, mister, because I was dumb. Oh, come on, Dad, old choppy. At least you're not being dumb in real time. That's another level of dumb. Hi, me. But, meh. I'm just trying to grow my skill set while live, which probably may not be the best thing. But I think after today's and tomorrow's streams, well, not tomorrow's, but Thursdays, I think I might actually try to do a little bit of blacksmithing on my own time, depending. I have a fair bit of what's called project backlog. If you're a fellow guy, you know what project backlog is and how terrible of an affliction project backlog is. It's a pretty terrible affliction. So, but I wanted to get work done. Clean up. Which anvil stand would help a lot. Anvil wiggles a lot, and that's a loss of hitting power. Oh no! Oh, we're not. I'm not getting into Damascus knife making. But at least I have things I can like what helped moving material was adjusting my hammering to be very vertical and making sure I was driving straight down without any bouncing. Any bouncing. Okay. But yeah, it's just a I know for me, like right now, it's like this is just pure me being new. Also, supposedly people like... Yeah. Yep. Yep. That is definitely a to-do. Hey, let me grab. Come on, I want my material. I'm gonna go ting-ting with my material. But yeah, I'm definitely a big fan of practice makes perfect. Granted, I mean, that's also part of the reason for this. Honestly, the stream is like trying to force myself. Okay. It's just, this is also involves hammering. I suck at hammering. I hate hammering. Like, hammering is a very weak skill of mine. An idea for heating: get a block by cutting 1 inch tall by like 2 to 3 inches wide at the bottom edge so you don't lose that much heat out the sides. Lol, don't like making mochi. No, I don't like making mochi. An idea for heating: get a block by cutting a 1 inch tall by like 2 to 3 inches wide at the bottom edge so you don't lose that much heat out the sides. Out the sides. That's your problem. Oh, wait. The door? Like, the door on the back is pretty flush. It's just one of the things I'm kind of nervous about is, like, if I've got, like, combustion gases going on, like, those combustion gases gotta go some... Wait. Oh, okay. I see what you're doing right now. What you're suggesting. I see what you're trying to do. And I think you will never had a perfect seal. Okay. So I wouldn't have to worry about, like... Because I knew one of the things was getting, like, the forge actually, like, tighter in terms of, like, room. Granted, the way this long bar piece is turning out right now, I really want to crack the other side of the door so that way I can stick it out the other side, because I'm really actually running out a lot of length on that. Wait, running out of length. No, wait, that... Sugi! That's dumb. Be smarter. Be smart. So... I'm going to go ahead and start turning this, so that way, when I stick it in there, because I've put a turn on it, it goes deeper into the forge. Don't poke the brick, Sugi. Don't be dumb, Sugi. Be a better Sugi. Yeah, just to minimize heat loss by having a little cutout in the bottom middle of the brick, enough room to put items in, but not a lot extra. Yeah. But hey, you know what? Like, these are all lessons. These are all things that I can take forward into Thursday's stream. So, all good stuff. All good stuff. Rome wasn't built in a day, and I did not build skills. I did not build skills in the stream, but I became a streamer to build skills, so. I certainly have a lot more skills now than I did. Actually, edge. I use a charcoal pit that's sort of covered with a brick, but I can control how hot it gets by how much. Yeah. Whew. Now I really need some hydration. Whoa. Oh my gosh, that water. Water is love. So incredible love. But hopefully we'll at least get one S-hook out today. And then we'll try for more S-hooks tomorrow. Well, Thursday. I keep saying tomorrow. I'm definitely gonna need a day break. Beer break. Oh man, Spock's putting on that beer pressure. And I think for this guy, we're gonna go cross peen for this. Actually, that's also another good idea, is for different materials, use different hammers. So that way, you kind of learn to see how each hammer affects the different materials, Sugi. Yeah, started doing exercises at the gym to strengthen the muscle groups. Also giving shorter heats a try, like when it starts to get a dull orange, stop and reheat instead of beating all the heat out of it. Ah, okay. All fun, all things to try, all things to learn. Okay, grab the right hammer, buddy. So we won't let that get too. Woo. But yeah, it's always better. Granted, I feel like the forge has also gotten a lot quieter since the start. At the start, it sounded very loud. I don't know if that's my hearing getting used to it or not. That may or may not be a bad. That may or may not be a bad sign. But Bowser's, I ain't. Tools. Never. You never have enough surfaces for tools, ever. Ever. Ooh. But yeah. The idea behind shorter heats is to not waste energy on swings that aren't going to move very much. Ah, okay. That makes sense. Granted, somehow that hook got straighter. Whew. But yeah. Honestly, I'm not sure. I actually really don't know. Honestly, I'm surprised at this point I don't have to pee yet, because apparently I've just been sweating everything out. But yeah, I will definitely... I forge in the sunny part of my yard in the summer with minimal shade. I sure do like prepping for a survival excursion. Oh dearie. That sounds rough. Because right now it's like 65 degrees out here. It feels warmer than that. It feels a lot warmer than that. So you're this hammer. Back in. Bro, it's an awful lot. Forging is lucky. Forging is lucky? Yeah, I can only imagine how like awful that is. Like shucks, I gotta get my forge reps in like while it's still like reasonably nice out. I can't be doing this when it's like hot. That'd be awful. Okay, that's enough on this. For this guy. Whoa. Whoa. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I have salt crystallized on my eyebrows and everything. Oh. Okay, so where I'm feeling with this guy right here. Shucks, it's getting hot down to here. It genuinely feels weird working this material right now. So what I want to do, what I'm thinking about doing is, we'll do a cutoff right here where the peen of the ball peen is, and that should give me a okayish amount of material. It's just this. Actually, it's just I can't get the heat where I want it in my forge. That's my problem. There we go. Now I might lose heat because of this. But with that, but I did move the brick further out, so it's kind of cracked like this. Yeah, because the hottest part of the forge is like right in the center of the forge. Because that's my hot spot. Oh, but yeah, that's essentially where all my heat is, and oh yeah, that's why that's not really heating up much at all. But if I want to continue to heat up that edge of that bar, that's where I need it to. That's where I need to be applying my heat at. Because I have put some material in there to kind of like take up a little bit more of the volume. Because I had like chips of bricks and such. In order to help bring the heat up. But yeah. Okay. Which, who knows, maybe I have to take corners out of multiple bricks. You're not the hammer I'm using for this next piece. You're the hammer I'm using for this piece. But yeah, this is definitely a skill. But that's fun. I mean, actually that's actually the best thing about doing this as a stream is I'm actually getting feedback in real time. Especially thanks to a certain shop owner who has more experience with this than me. Okay. Yeah. Now I'm getting that heat where I want it. Don't grab the end of that bar. But yeah, thank you. Certainly makes it a lot certainly does help when you actually get feedback like that, so that way you can actually grow. And I actually really do like the idea of getting a stone cutting hammer. Wait, we're talking about progress in real time. I thought I had it. I actually threw all my extra fire bricks at this. Okay, so I definitely think I'm gonna go ahead and do one more on my long piece, and I might have to switch propane tanks. Or maybe not. I don't know how that... Wait a second. Wait a second. I need to get that other piece in there a little bit further. But yeah, if I did actually have extra fire brick, I was fully prepared. We could just take one here, bring it to the anvil, cut the corner out, and then replace it with that. But I can't work. I really should not be touching that brick because that brick is going to be very, very hot. And it also kind of sucks because when like stuff's in the forge, it actually looks a lot hotter than it actually is. See, that's an issue. And now, by the time I grab my hammer, what heat I have is gone. So I need to... Be nice if I had more of a system. Also, I do need it. Wait a second. Is that a... I don't know if that's a heavier ball peen or not. Okay. Granted, that heat on that bar is really getting close to the end now. It's getting real close to that end, but honestly, I think we might try to just keep running. With this propane tank. Because if it gets me through the rest of the stream, then I'm okay with that. Because then I can just break open a new tank for the next stream and we'll have a fresh tank for the next stream. Actually, I'm going to replace this glove. Because the end of that iron is getting warmer, and that glove's not offering me as much protection, so I'm gonna upgrade my glove. Actually, wait a second. Eh. Okay. But you know what? I think I'm prepared to cut that. We'll cut that there. That'll give us a pretty long piece. And then I can close the back off the forge. So that way I can get a little bit better heating efficiency out of it. Okay. Yeah. So the ball peen is definitely better for stretching material out. This tool, this hammer is definitely not the tool of choice for that. It's definitely great for smoothing and flattening and things. See what I mean about work surfaces? You can never have enough work surfaces. But we're actually going to go in for the cut on this guy because I think I have enough length, and I do want to end this stream on a positive note. I want to have something by the end of the stream, so. So there we go, right there. I am infinitely stupid. Infinitely stupid. Oh dear. Well, I tried. Ugh. Anvil down. Anvil down. Whew. Oh dear. There we go. Whew. Jeepers creepers. Ugh. Wait. That wasn't the glove I wanted. Ugh. Okay. Let's try this a second time. That Hardy likes to do me dirty. Okay. So, let's work it. Yay. Cut. Cut. And there's actually enough material on it to make it reasonably holdable. Okay, enough of that. Enough of that nonsense. Yeah. Hey now. You're an all-star. Sugi, you have an idea. You have an idea. Maybe. Granted, that piece is not quite getting warmed up how I would like it. Because so actually, would there be a way to rubber band that or something? I don't know. I'm almost thinking I should do something else. I think that something else is the something else I need. Granted, the fact that I have this much accuracy with the ball peen, I am very impressed with myself on that. If you guys knew anything about Sugi, being that accurate with a hammer is new. That is a skill I have developed today. Water! Ah. Granted, the thing is with like the heavier gloves, the thermal insulation is nice, but that also just means you get warmer more readily. But yeah, so I would have to say probably like the biggest aspect of my growth today has been hammer accuracy. And I actually have an idea how to kind of fix my stand issue. It's not the ideal thing I want to do, but, well, actually, wait. That's also an idea. Wait. Would that be heavy enough? It's an idea, though. Oh, man. Okay. That makes me excited. It makes me excited to go from today, to get some ideas, and bring them into tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, but Thursday's stream. Because historically, I would have never expected that level of hammer accuracy out of myself. So, definitely big level up the hammer accuracy, because of those hits I just did after that heat, I had a reasonable amount of hits, so. I'll take any and all improvements I can make. You know what? This forge is also running a little bit better than it was at the beginning. So, step-by-step progress. But yeah, can comfortably say, blacksmithing is not as cool as people on YouTube make it out to be. I'm definitely firmly on team woodworking. But it is going to be fun to be able, once I build enough skill, to get to the point where I could also make like my own hardware for projects. Because I'm currently planning on building a small tool shed for my new fire pit, which is the new fire pit's the primary reason I want to make a new tool shed. And also, if I make a small tool shed for outside, I can move a few of my gardening tools to it, and that'll also free up a little bit more room here in my shop. So that's something I'm looking forward to building, and if I'm ambitious enough, I want to try making my own, like, door handles for it. But we'll see. We'll see what the progression's like. Alright. Am I not holding this well? I'm not holding it well. That's my issue. That's better. But that's also most of my heat. But I have firmly established Ball Peen Kun as best Peen Kun. And I'm also getting a bit better of having a flow, too. Oh, goodness gracious. I actually forgot to readjust my back brick, so I've now got the back more sealed off. So that should get us a lot. We should do a little bit better on our heat, so. Granted, that propane tank might die. Like here soon. And if it dies, well, that's probably gonna be it for today. Just don't be so jumpy. But that's getting reasonably drawn out, and so. So I think with some taking a little bit of a nick out of the corner of that brick, get ourselves a lot more heat trapped in the forge. I think will be a really big improvement. But yeah, I think that forge, I think my propane tank's actually really dying down. We'll see if we can get one more heat out of it. And if we can get one more heat, awesome. If not, I've learned. But also, more importantly, got a good arm workout today. Also, kind of like using the ball peen, because it's definitely a lot lighter. Definitely feel like I can do a lot more of this motion versus the other stuff I do. Well, versus working with like the other hammers. We actually just straight lost the head off one of them. Okay. Oh, wow. But that cratering that you see on the material, that's actually the ball peen hammer pushing that material to the sides. What do you look like? Enough to work with. Stop jumping. I don't know why it's jumping. Ooh. Okay. we'll see what we can do. Because we end up doing pretty alright, then we end up doing pretty alright. So. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay. 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 So we practiced drawing out today, and still not as successful as I would like to be, but I feel like we made some reasonably good progress. Adding a brick here, and then having a brick like this actually did help me get a much better seal on the forge. I also tried running higher gas pressures, and I think that did reasonably alright for me. However, though, I still have a very much long way to go in this journey called blacksmithing. So, I would like to thank everyone who tuned in today. Next stream will be Thursday, same time. And we're going to try and spend a little bit more time at the forge, doing some work at the forge. So, this is Sugi Yamagawa. I would like to wish you all, may you have a great rest of your day, evening, night, whatever it is, wherever you're at. And hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Okay, bye-bye.